Hey, welcome back to another episode of Boss Up with Mr. Key. This is our real estate edition. Again, in the real estate edition, I want to tell you about common real estate concerns, successes, and things that I just kind of notice on my day-to-day grind as an agent here in Central Texas. So today's topic, and these don't come easy. It may be an experience that, I've had to deal with this past week, or, a question that has came up, or sometimes one of my subscribers may shoot something to me like, "Hey, Andre, won't you address this?" This one came to me actually the day before yesterday, right? So, and, many people want to know, hey, what's the difference between buying a new home and a resale home or an existing home? I have a friend now that has a great home in a great location with a great view, but it's an older home. And like every week, something's going wrong. Like she has anxiety about this house. It's just like the maintenance cost is through the roof. I mean, it's a very nice home. So, usually nice things cost a little bit to take care of, but the amount of things that can go wrong at any given time has been a challenge. But anyway, let's talk about the pros and cons of buying a brand new versus a resale home. So let's talk about brand new homes. Right now, inventory is a little low, and so that means many people can go and get a home built from any level of builder, from a lower tier builder that just focuses on volume, to a high end builder, to even a custom builder that, hey, your home will be a true one of one. But the first thing I'd like to talk about is the design center. With a brand new home, like you actually get to pick out, depending on the builder, you get to pick out the type of flooring, the color. They have these design packages that makes it easy so that you won't have to pick out everything. It's like, hey, you can have a white cabinet with this subway backsplash, this type of countertops with this floor, or a variation of that in different colors. But you actually get an opportunity to pick out what's going to go into this brand new house. So I think that's a plus for most people. Incentives. Right now in the market, new builders can offer a ton of incentives. They could, especially if it's what we call an inventory home or spec home, meaning this house is already completed. They just don't have a buyer, and they want to keep building more and more homes. So they want to get that past home off the books. So incentives, they can give you flex cash, meaning, hey, here's $40,000, $20,000 that you can use to buy down your interest rate, help with closing costs, or reduce the price of the home. So again, the incentives that they throw in makes it really appealing to buy a brand new home. You also can, negotiate like appliances and things like that. One thing about buying a new home is when you get a new home, every time they start a new phase or when I say phase, like, hey, phase one, they built out in one section of the community. Now they're breaking ground to build another section. Once those homes are done, every time they have a new phase, most builders, most communities try to have an increase in price. So that means you might have bought your home at $600,000 in the first phase. By the time they get to the third phase, that very same home that you have, maybe a few changes, is now worth $750,000. So you can see your equity grow based on the level of phases that this builder goes through in a certain community. Another thing I like about new builds is the warranty. Many times you'll have a 1 year, what I like to say, bumper to bumper warranty, where like anything that goes wrong from the front door to the back, from the ceiling to the foundation, they'll come back and fix. The building manager will give you a number. You call someone, they'll put you on the list. They'll come out and fix it. Sometimes there's a 2-year warranty on mechanicals, meaning your HVAC or things of that nature, the water tank. Sometimes appliances can have an extended warranty placed on them. And foundation, of course, most builders will give you 10 years structural warranty, So, if the house settles too hard or if you have a faulty foundation, like it's covered. Um, Another thing is the energy efficiency of some of these homes. I mean, they're using the latest window sills and windows. They're using the best installation. They have high energy efficiency grades where even the furnace is, a high rating. The HVAC, the AC is a high rated AC. So it cools when it needs to and it saves energy when you don't need to cool. So again, having that efficiency is good for utility costs, which also keeps the cost down of just living in that property. So again, being able to buy a brand new home, and of course, you'll be the first to ever like sit in the tub, take that shower. Like all these things are, new to you. You've established you will be the one that'll break in this property. But of course, there's always two sides of every coin. And, sometimes buying a brand new home is not always peaches and cream. For example, in some communities, the home builder has maybe 4 models. So although they don't put the exact same model next door to each other, you may have a similar house that looks like yours right across the street or right 3 doors down. So again, it's kind of like that cookie cutter approach where it's like, okay, my house isn't that special. Like there's 6 houses on my block that looks just like mine or a variation of mine. So, if you're into being an individual, kind of having your own thing, sometimes these brand new homes or communities won't fit that. You can also have build out delays. So if you build a home, they could tell you it could take 8 months, and it can actually take 8 months, in 20 days, or it can take 3 months on top of the 8 months. So again, like sometimes those things don't add up, and there's nothing you can do about it. They won't give you a discount. They won't accommodate you if you have to extend the lease or anything like that. You just shit out of luck. So again, those build outs can be a pain. Another thing we want to talk about is the interest rates. So, many people were caught in between where they had a new house that was going to take over a year to finish. And when they started, the interest rates was somewhere around 2.9, 3%. And by the time it actually finished, like in these recent years, they were at a 7%. So yeah, they could approve for this house at a 3%, but you times that by 2 as far as the interest rate, then that's a whole different ball game, a whole different payment. So now it's like, wow, do I still want this home? Can I afford it? I mean, they're not going to drop the price low enough for you to actually fit what the mortgage would have been with the way lower rate. So again, building out into the future can also have its challenges as well for you. I don't think you can lock in your rate until maybe 30 days before closing. And if they keep pushing that out, like there's another thing that you can experience. The other thing is these upgrades. I talked about upgrades being a pretty cool thing. You could pick them out. You could decide. But that shit is typically expensive if you let the builder do it. You could probably get a contractor to do wooden floors or vinyl plank for your house. Maybe $6,000. Sometimes the builder, if you look at these line items on, hey, here's the upgrade. You want the vinyl planks that are light colored. It may be twice that amount, $12,000 onto your sales price. Or, this and that. It could be pretty expensive. A lot of times it's like, hey, just buy the basic house and then have your contractor come in and do it later. But again, now you're living in the construction zone. So there's some, obviously, there's some downsides to that. Let's see here. What else do we have on our list today, Andre? having to sell within the phase. So, for example, if this is a community that's going to have 5 phases, that's going to take 6 years, and after 3 years, you're ready to sell. We talked about appreciation. Yeah, that's great. But if they're still building new homes like the one that you're trying to sell, sometimes that's a challenge when people feel like, hey, I can just go to the builder and maybe get some incentives and basically just buy the builder's home versus buying yours, which sometimes can be a challenge for sellers, especially if there's a lot of inventory around. So again, those are some cons of the new home game. People also say, well, hey, if I have a new home, like I can at least guarantee that there's nothing wrong. That's not true. I've had buyers buy a home and, a month after moving in, guess what? They were getting a leak from the tub. There was something not done right. I had contractors poke a hole accidentally with a nail in a water line. This lady had the house for 4 years and didn't realize until we got an inspection to sell it that there was water dripping from this line that the builder had caused, and she had to do mold remediation. So like those are things that you might not see. And so regardless, it's always important to have some type of inspection on the property, new or resale. Speaking of resale, let's segue into, buying existing homes or older homes. One more con about a neighborhood that's brand new. You really don't have any idea how this neighborhood is going to turn out. Like in 3 years, are they going to be renting them out a lot? Is the HOA going to be so lax that like there's trash is it going to be an upscale neighborhood? Yeah, maybe the cost can dictate that, but is it going to be one of those neighborhoods that you're like, wow, I hate it that I moved here. My neighbors are doing this and this and that. So that's one of the benefits. One of the drawbacks of a brand new home. Sometimes you don't know exactly what that neighborhood will be like. Now, on the resale side, let's talk about it. Some of the pros. You can see that there has been good upkeep on a home if it's a resale. Just going in, some people are just meticulous with their shit. And some people are a little trashy, but at least you can set your eyes on it. You can have an idea. You can get an inspection as well to see how well they took care of their property. Individualized properties, again, some older communities. Not only you'll have some beautiful mature trees in the yard, beautiful oaks. The house will be very unique, different than some of the other houses. Inside, there'll be like some pretty cool things that you're like, oh, wow, I wish they still did this on houses. Or, hey, this is kind of like a relic, this particular design. So if you're an individual and you're into that, like you can definitely find that character is the word that I'm looking for. Character in an existing home. Landscapes, they can all be, like I said, the trees can be amazing. Your landscape can be pretty mature with flowers, annuals that, come back and just serve a purpose to beautify your curb appeal. You can also tell that the house may be fully settled. Every house is going to settle. Just the other day, it was cold as hell here, and then it warmed up. But I actually saw the settlement cracks coming in my property. My house isn't that old, but I saw cracks. And I'm like, damn, it's time to paint, tape it. It's just kind of like drywall separating a little bit because the house settles. But older houses, sometimes it's pretty much locked in. It's been through extreme winters. It's been through extreme summers. It's probably solidified in its spot a lot of times. You also can maybe negotiate with a resale seller. You can, get them to maybe take off more than what the builders will do. Sometimes the builders are firm. They don't want to, play around. We gave you a $20K flex cash. We can't give you any more of that. Well, with the resale, like you may be able to ask for the appliances, the blinds, washer and dryer, like all of that in there, and get something off the price and get help with closing costs or some extra money to buy down whatever rate that your lender can offer. So again, I feel like, there's a level of negotiability with a resale home. Now, let's talk about some of the drawbacks on a resale. First of all, you can just have an old ass home. Some of these homes in the 50s, 70s, the HVAC is, the useful life of most of the mechanicals, like the furnace, the HVAC, and most homes is 20 years. If your house is 19 years and it's that you're gonna buy and it's still the original stuff, how much longer do you think you have before you have to change out a furnace? Expensive, trust me, or a whole HVAC system. High maintenance costs. Like my friend, like her house is old. So, 1 minute that door looks beautiful and you swing it the wrong way and boom, it falls off the hinge. You're like, damn, I need a door. You're playing with the toilet knob and boom, it breaks. Like, oh, I need that. Or I have a leak in the toilet. I need a new toilet. I need this. I need that. Like the list can go on and on and on. Also, that the rate buy down situation, yeah, you could probably buy it down a little bit or what have you, but they don't have this. The builders are a corporation, so they have a massive amount of money and reserves that they can use. John P. Doe seller doesn't have that much to give back. Like he wants to keep some of his equity to do whatever he is going to do with the rest of his life. So, or the next house that he wants to buy. So he can't really give you sometimes the amount that you would need to really buy the rate down to make a significant difference. Also, resale homes can just be out of date. You got the green shack carpet, you got, popcorn ceilings. Oh, damn, I didn't know we had, that's a different texture. I thought we had popcorn ceilings here. Popcorn ceilings, stuff that people just hadn't seen since the 80s, So, you definitely don't want to keep that, most people. And so that means you have to get somebody to do the work. And then again, unless you have another house to go to while the work is getting done, you're living in a construction zone. And not being able to use your kitchen for 2 or 3 weeks can be hell on you. So trust me, I know. The other thing is the house may not be energy efficient. You may have some old ass windows on that house where your heat and your AC is going straight outside. And you turn it on, you just keep cranking it up. That bill keeps getting higher and somebody can come to your window and warm up or cool down because everything is just seeping out the house. Installation is so old. It was super thick 20 years ago, but now it's as thin as a piece of paper. So these are some of the cons, and again, you have to know what's right for you. So a good agent can definitely tell you and sit down with you and consult you on what would fit your needs and help you articulate that. But remember, no matter what, get an inspector. And also, just because you don't feel like you need an agent, when you go into these brand new builders, take an agent. It's typically free representation. You won't pay the agent. The builder will. And the builder is not going to, give you the savings if you don't have an agent. So look at it as free representation, especially when you're dealing with a builder. It's the builder, the sales rep, the construction manager. A lot of times they say, hey, use our lender. The entire company versus little you, so what does it hurt to have some expert negotiation, expert representation with you? So again, old versus new, I can't help you decide because you're going to wake up in that house every day, but I can definitely help you point out the factors that make the most sense for you to make that purchase. And, outside of that, go ahead and do it. Don't hold back. Get off your couch. Go get that home. This is Boss Up Mr. Key, the real estate edition. For those that needed that information, like, comment, subscribe, and also share it to a friend that may be looking to buy in this current market. Again, this is Andre Key telling you, hey, stay safe and make that move.